Hello everyone, welcome again to my YouTube channel. On today's episode, we are going to be continuing with the story on how I wrote my book. So if you're just coming across my channel for the first time, you're welcome. Feel free to subscribe, don't hesitate. But if you're a returning viewer, you're welcome as well. Subscribe and come back. Let's continue on this journey. Welcome back. Let's continue. So in the last series, in the last episode, I was able to talk about how I got the idea, how I began the writing process, how I got stuck. That's writer's block of the highest order. I've not experienced such kind before, and how I was able to push through. No, that's where we'll continue from today. So let's go on. So fast forward to January 2024. Yeah, please, if you're just new to this channel, if you're coming across the video for the first time, please check my previous video. I started this story there. Thank you so much. So January 2024, yeah, I reached out to my pastor. I told him, he gave me instructions on what to do, which I obeyed diligently, but then I was still struggling. There. I have done the requirement, I've done all I should do, but then the idea is not forthcoming. The story I plan to write now, I said I got inspiration on what was happening on campus fellowships and started to work on it, but zero idea, zero information. My head was blank. I tried to use my head to just think of anything, but it was not working. I struggled. Then I think it was March or so, we had one conference in church. I was going for that conference. I was like, God, let this thing be the message you show me. Let me get the story idea again. See, one thing about losing story ideas, or one thing about losing ideas, is when you lose it, most times when they come back, they don't come back the same thing you lost. They come back better. They come back. Imagine if you've lost a script before, maybe a manuscript. If you endure the pain of writing it again, you notice that you write something better than you had written in the past. So I had written few chapters, but during the conference I got a different idea, a different story, new inspiration. What they call freshness. Everything was just so fresh. And then I went back that night. I deleted some chapters, deleted some lines. I had to rewrite the chapter 1. We wrote it was a different plot now, a different story idea, but procrastination. How do I want to start writing this? I was very busy because remember I do book editing, so I was busy working with authors, helping them achieve their writing goals. They pay for the book editing. I'll abandon my work and I'm doing this. I'll abandon my work and I'm doing this. It continued. So one day I just got a text from my pastor. He just asked me a simple question: what's the update on the book? And somehow, speed, fire, ease, like it was so fast that I told him that I've gotten the new idea. I've written chapter 1. But I wouldn't want him to still ask me the next time. I'll tell him the same story. So that day, like in 2 days, okay, it's not 2 days now. That week, I now say that this book I'll write it this week. So on Monday, I wrote 500 words. The next day, I was doing 500 words per day, 500 words per day. Then on some days, I did 1,000 words. Sometimes I did 2,000 words. I think that book took me roughly like 8 days to write, not 2 days, 8 days. Then it was going smoothly. Then I think on Saturday, it should be on a Saturday, on a Monday, I wrote 8,000 words in one day. Hey, on that day, I felt like a millionaire. Like I felt so proud of myself. I felt so fulfilled. I felt so complete. I felt so happy because that was I wrote the story to the end that I said that this book today I must finish it. And as God helped me, I pushed it, and I finished it that day. Even my friend who was keeping me accountable, she was quite surprised. Like, because she was pushing me 500 words. She said, okay, try and do 700, make it 800, make it 1000. But I wrote 8000 words in one. Like, the way I screamed, I was like, God, I've done this thing. I've done this thing. It's not my first time writing a book, but knowing the kind of things I struggled to finally complete that book, I felt like I was awarded a gold medal. It was so fulfilling. And after that phase, the next phase for the pre-editing, I know that's the first draft we're talking about. So after I was done working on it, I had to go back writing it again and again and again, because one thing about writing a book is that for each time you revisit that manuscript, you will find something should be here. You keep editing, there is no satisfaction. I don't think there is a point of satisfaction. I've checked if I go back to this book now that I wrote last 2 years, definitely I'm going to find things I'm supposed to do. So after reviewing it 3 to 4 times, yes, I sent it to the book editor to help me, my friend. And then it didn't take so long. I think like 3 weeks to 1 month, because she had the manuscript she was working on, so I was not in a hurry. I was quite patient. At this point now, I officially opened pre-order. When I was sure that finally I'm releasing this book, I opened pre-order for both print and ebook. I was not sure on how to go about the print, but definitely this book is coming. If there's one thing I knew that this book was coming, at least as an ebook. I had no budget, so what I did then, while she was still working on the book, I reached out to a graphic designer to help me get a book cover, and that was where I suffered again. Okay, first, before the graphic designer, I tried doing the covers myself. I think I did more than 10 covers for this book, but all of those designs were horrible. Like, if there is a better word, horrible, terrible. It was very awful. Awful does not suit what the design was looking like. I'm funny enough, I was showing my Facebook audience. They were like, wow, it's beautiful, we're anticipating kiniko. And then there was somebody that told me that this book now, if I tend to maybe give it as a free book or maybe just an ebook, it's pardonable. But if it has to be in print, it has to be excellent. It has to stand out. It has to meet international standards. So an advice to authors out there: when you're working on your book, when you're designing your book cover, one thing you should have in mind is that this cover should be able to meet international standards. If somebody in UK, somebody in Canada, in Dubai gets this book, from the cover, the person should be convinced that you're doing something excellent. Don't present excellence in a shabby attire. It will not make sense. So that made me reach out to a graphic designer to pay, and this young man stressed me. It was back and forth. I think he did over 5 designs. I was like, I did something awful, and because I want something excellent, I'm paying you to do this, and he called. See, writers in the house, don't fix your launch date if you're yet to receive your covers and your manuscripts from your editor. Like, you see those people, they can't frustrate you. Like, I don't know, the young man was giving me excuses. His laptop got spoiled, this one, that one. After all the back and forth, he will still end up not sending what is expected. I was so disappointed. And it's not just me evaluating this man. When he sends it, I send it to my friends, I send it to people, I send it to my parents, say, check this thing, how is this covered? Does it meet international standards? Is it excellent? And once they say no, I cannot pity you. You have to get me something good, because this is not I'm not writing a book I'm going to read. This is the book I'm giving to audiences. It's food meant for the public. So if it's not attractive to the eye, they will not consider it. And after, it took a whole month to get a book cover. And after getting the book covers, getting the manuscript, for my editor. I reviewed it. Very important. For each time your book editor sends your manuscript, please review it, especially when when you use slangs, when you use different languages, when you use a kind of tone most book editors will not understand. They will think you're writing off, maybe it's jargon. They'll try to help you to express it in Queen's English, but please, if it's a story, if it's a novel, leave it like that. The jargon will make sense. The jargon will make sense. Don't let them alter the message you're trying to communicate in your book. So that was that on that. So we continue again next week. No, not next week. We're going to again the next video where I'll tell you how I suffered in the hands of my publisher, my printer, what I went through. Stories are coming, so please relax and stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching today's point. I believe you got value. Do it, ask your questions in the comment section.